Hey everyone, this is Melvin from CODutility.com, and I'm here to give you guys another tutorial. This is number 16 in the BlackOps 3 mapping and modding tutorial series that I've been doing lately. This is a very generalized tutorial. We're going to cover automatic doors, just the basics of them. So without further ado, what are automatic doors and what do they need to do? Let's get to our scene and we'll take a look. And here we've got first off our script. You can see here, this is just a basic script of the map that we worked on before. As you can see here, this is the map from the last tutorials. I don't know. We're talking about all sorts of things like effects and building how you would, use Radiant in a sense. Okay, so now we're going to get into how do you add functional objects and things like opening an automatic door. So as you see here, there's a little bit of change has been done. The 4 is not needed at the top. So take that out. And as you look here, this here line, number 16, level space thread space door 4 underscore rotate. Open bracket, close bracket, and semicolon. That is the line you need to add to load or to thread to thread the function that will be rotating our door. Okay, so as you can see here, underneath the function pre-cache, after the close bracket, I start a new function here. When I start with the word function, space door 4 underscore rotate, close bracket, open bracket, and then go down here in the open squiggly bracket. Okay, this is the actual open bracket. But anyway, so we're going to go bracket, we go in 4, we go down 1 and go in 4. And that's just basically for organizational purposes. It makes it a lot easier to see where things line up. And so we're going to, as you can see here, all this here code needs to be added. Okay, now this line here, number 32, this is done so, if you want to wait till a power switch is turned on, say for zombies, you would take these lines out. And then the door would not be openable until the power had been turned on. But you don't need that in the zombie mode either. Okay, so that's just, I want to leave that in there for a little note. Okay, so you can take this line completely out. Oh, you take this line here completely out if you choose to, or you can leave it in there. Okay, so as you can see here, just basically copy down what I've got here, and then we'll go into the tools. I think you've had enough time to look at it, so let's get right into it. Okay, so now that once you've done that or you've added that to your scripts, you just hit, go up to file and save or whatever program you're using to edit, and then your GSC file stuff is done. There's nothing more needed. Okay, so coding part done. Now we're going to get into the interesting part. What we need to do is we need to build some script brushes or script brush models, I should say. Okay, so we're going to go into a 3 grid right now, and we're just going to drag out a door here. I'm going to make the door 64 units. Oh, hold on. Let's change the texture. Because we're not ready for this one yet. Okay, so decal door. This is good. I'm going to make this back to here. And we're going to make this one here. Oh, let's say 96 units. Good enough. Okay, so we're going to make 96 to 64. That's a wide door. We're going to hit the S key and we're going to hit both here to size it basically. So it's got some size to it. It's 3 units. It's a number 3 on the grid, which is a 4 unit grid size spacing. I'm going to go up here to this one, control tab, and we're going to bring it down to the top view. So we can go back to our door right here. And this time we're going to create another brush in the corner here. It's going to go, because we had the door selected previously, it's going to be the same height. And we're going to go back to textures. And then we're going to go into here and type in ORI, and that's going to bring up our origin texture. And make sure you're in all if you haven't used it before. So if you type in origin, that'll be the first one at the top, and we're going to click double click on that. And that's going to click this one here into an origin brush. Now we're going to take both of these, select both of them, and we are going to add a couple values to them after we right click and add a script brush model. Now if you don't have this in your right click context menu, go to your entity browser, which is access to your B key as your hotkey, and you're going to just type in what would this be, script. So as you type in script, you'll see here under here, a script brush model. Script model as well is a good one. I have them all added, basically script model, script origin, and script struct. Just right click on them down here, toggle favorites. Okay, and then they'll pop into this list. And so when you right click here in the 3D window, you'll be able to see it. Okay, so you want to make these a script brush model because they're made of brushes. And you can see it instantly changes everything. What we want to do then now is bring the end key up, and we're going to add a couple of values, okay? Just like this one here, the same values we have here, which is target name door 4 and script noteworthy Z. Just so you guys can see, we select both of these, and target name door 4, and then add KVB script noteworthy script underscore noteworthy, and then this will be a value of Z. singularly. Okay, so as you can see here, as we select these ones here, they have the same values, right? Okay, so it's hitting escape. We're going to go back to our top down, and we're going to go over here, and we're going to right click, and we're going to add a trigger multiple. Okay, now if you don't have trigger multiple, again, you've got to go back to anti-browser, type in trig, and then you go down here to where it says trigger, and you see trigger multiple, right click, add toggle to favorites, because you'll use them eventually again. You know, if you start using them at this point, you're making doors, eventually you're going to use a trigger at some point again, so you might want to add some of the ones you think you'll use again to your list. Anyways, once that's done, we're going to go back here, we're going to right click, or sorry, back to the 2D. You can do this in both places. You can do it actually here, right click, trigger multiple. Now we'll give us a trigger multiple up here. We're going to go up, bring this up to the middle of the door, say, bring it over so it's the same width of the door, minus the orange. I don't usually put it into the orange, but you can. Either way, yeah, let's just leave it like that. So the whole door is accessible. And then we're going to, I'm going to use 4 on the grid now, back to an 8 grid. And I'm going to mix this into the middle of the door. And then this here will, let's see here. What is this one here? This is door underscore trigger 4, yeah. Okay, so we're going to go to here, and we're going to add target name door. Oh, or sorry, door underscore trigger 4. Okay, this is the reason why I picked these names, I should say, is because someone on the forums at CODutility.com had asked me, how do you get this working? They having issues with it. So I decided to use their code to make it easier, you know, so that they can hopefully just pop this in and everything works. But the same thing goes, you don't necessarily need to call it trigger 4 or door 4 or whatever. You can change the names. Anyways, okay, so now that that's done, we have everything we would need. There's nothing left to do, as we can see here, as we select this here, and we compare this with the one here. You see here, they're all doing it. Why I'm doing this with the one on the left is because the one on the left has already been compiled and is working. This way I won't have to compile, make you guys wait. I can just show you how this works. Okay, so I'm going to delete these, but you guys are going to save those where you want to save them, and they're going to work just like this set here. You now have the thing here. Now, in this one here, hide this here. This here is not doing anything. This is just a script origin. I placed it there because I was going to do it with a script origin, and I decided not to. And yeah, just left it like this. So this is how it would work. Once this is working here, we would go into, we'd save on our map, hit file, we'd save. Okay, and then we would go here. Now I can compile this, as you can see, just to make sure the script origin is not affecting anything. Let's compile this right now. This shouldn't take long. Okay, so we're going to go up here, and we're going to hit compile. And we're going to hit link because we already have lighting good enough to make a test, you know. And we're going to click build, making sure this is the only thing checked and highlighted. Okay, so this is going to take a second for it to update the GDT. I've got music playing in the background. We've got the recording going, so it's going to be a little bit slower than normal. But the map is really small. There's not much in here, so it should happen pretty quickly. And as you can see, we're already linking. Okay, so what should happen when we go in there? Once the player gets into the trigger, this should go into here. Or the door should open and allow the player to come in. And once in this room, he should be able to go back to the trigger and open the door once the door is closed. Okay, so the door is solid, so it will force the player. That's something you have to keep note of. Okay, so here we're going to go here, and we're going to see here the process is almost done. Okay, so we're done now, and we're going to go to run, click on that one, unclick link, unclick compile, and click build. And this is going to give us a little test. We're going to hopefully load up our map, and everything will be working. Okay, so what other things can you do with rotating stuff? I mean, you can rotate all sorts of things. Signs, you can rotate, things swinging back and forth. Yeah, there's lots of different ways you can play with it, you know. Find out what you can do with it. I barely play with scripting when it comes down to Call of Duty mapping. With Call of Duty, I love the aesthetic appeal that it has. So I like to play with that stuff. But I will do scripting. I did do an entire mod. I think it was the first full conversion mod for Call of Duty. That at least that I'm aware of. That was now what we did in 4 months. And I say there was a couple people doing some maps. I did all the scripting and mapping. I actually got some help from Holy Moly on learning how to script. Give me a crash course. If you guys get a chance to meet Holy Moly, he is at CODutility.com, and he's a really great guy. If you have questions for COD 4 or COD 5 modding, he's a guy to ask for sure. Okay, so now he might hate me for throwing him under the bus, but no, he's a really great guy and really, really helpful. Okay, as you see here, as you bump into the trigger, the door opens. You come out, door's closed. And again, we compiled it exactly as you saw, which is the same thing that I did when I added the second version. I haven't tested to see what happens when you add a second door and a third door. You might have to rename door 4 to door 5 and door 6 and door 7 and adding each one. I will say about scripting that when you do something that's minimally effective, you can do it in a copy again and again and again. It's messy, but it doesn't really matter. Scripting, the worst unless your language causes an issue, there's not a difference between, in a sense, long-winded coding and short-winded coding in certain senses. You can actually see this in mobile games quite a bit. You'll see a lot of mobile games that don't necessarily optimize too much, and then anyways, yeah, their games run great still, right? So it depends on what you're doing. Test it, play with it. You shouldn't have a problem doing multiple doors with this method, just by renaming things. Okay, so if you have any questions... Oh, there we go. Boom, that's not good. Slow myself down. But yeah, if you have any questions, we will get back to this map as time goes on. I'll be doing tutorial series, and I'll probably walk you guys through a map. As you guys can see, Alleyways is coming along, but there's a lot of work to do, and this room here still needs some work. Nothing's really working perfectly in this map. It's way too bright as you go in and out, but we can get to that. We can fix this stuff. Okay, so for now, thank you guys for checking out our badass opening and closing door. As you can see, I think I'm just going to keep walking through this damn thing because it's just so cool, and it lines up so nicely, as you see. It's just so perfect. It's perfect. Perfect. Anyways, Street Fighter. Anyways, thanks for checking out the video. Hit the like button. Subscribe to see more. I'll have more tutorials. You want to request a tutorial, go to CODutility.com. We'll do our best to help you out. If you want to share your stuff, which we want to see, go there. Post. What else? Yeah, really want to get COD Utility pumping again. We started getting people posting. Site's been kind of down and lacking for a bit, but we're slowly building it up again. We've started tweaking the front page. We don't want to change too much, though. We want to keep it nice and easy for people. So if you got suggestions, you got things you want to see, let us know. Yeah, Alleyways. Last thing is coming along, and it should be done soon. So on that note, I'll say it again. Hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you again soon. Much love from Canada. Peace.